Hello, my loves. I am live from Italy. It's Sonia G, and this is a Tuesday MoonBabes night live. We're just gonna forget about the Monday part. I am so excited to be coming from you live from Italy. The Wi-Fi connection has not been what I am used to in the US, so it's been a bit more challenging to come on. So hey, Tuesday afternoon live it is, and we're gonna take it. Hi guys, hey, so happy to see you guys joining. Hello, my loves. I haven't seen you. And I feel like it's so long. Like I miss you guys. I think about you guys. I send you guys love. So I have been at the beach for a while, celebrating my 40th birthday with my family in Italy. And tonight I am here on the countryside wearing my dad's sweatshirt because it's freaking cold up here. It's like such a change of weather. It's a tiny country with lots of weathers. So, hey Gary, hey Bobby, hey Judy. I see all of you guys joining. Hey Sarah. Hi. Oh, I've missed all of you guys. I want to talk to you about all the things that are happening right now. Happy September and happy shift of energy that is happening, you guys. We have a big shift in the energy, in just like the feeling of it. Can you tell? What are you guys feeling? How are you feeling? We just had the new moon in Virgo and it completely shifted the energy. Like it was such a Judy is going facepalm. Judy, fellow Virgo, I know you felt it. All of you earth signs too. Felt it a lot, and anybody with strong Virgo energy in their charts. But in general, this was like a very cosmic kind of moon. It really was. And we have like a new beginning to the rest of the year now. It's like in those of you that are in MoonBabes Society, we did a huge intention setting and manifesting meditation. By huge, I mean like huge, big energy push in terms of like really tapping into what we want to do in all areas of our life, because this is the month to heal things physically, mentally, spiritually. We are like coming out of our shell. That's the energy of September. Do you guys feel it? Carrie says, I feel infinite possibilities. Yes, that is right. Totally right on. It's a month of like expansion, but it's expansion in a different way. And I'm excited to talk to you guys more as I'm staying up here in the countryside. I'll have more time to catch up on the energy and everything that's actually happening, because I haven't had a whole lot of time to communicate, but we've had a huge shift, and in meditations and in everything that has to do with like the higher planes, we're actually closing out a big chapter. It's like there was a big shift with a big chapter that closed, and we are now dealing with a higher frequency. So all of us are shifting. No matter where you are, you're like popping up a notch. It's like everybody's getting that little shift, like you're going up, okay? Whether you like it or not, it's happening for everybody. And so you have to like jump up a frequency. You have to like go up it's like in my mind, I'm seeing like a pentagram with like the notes, right? Like, so you have to go up. Like we're going up, and we just have to like raise our vibration and level up. If we are not already there, in order to understand it, then we have to do the physical part, which is why I always say meditate to get your frequency higher than the things that are incoming, so that you don't have to then do this job because you're already here, and then you just have to integrate this way. Okay. So this is kind of what's happening. We're integrating the traumas between the feminine and divine feminine, divine masculine. energies within each one of us. Okay, this has been like a theme that has been kind of going on, and it's like right now it's been the rise of the divine masculine and really kind of the cleansing and clearing of the divine feminine to, like, I want to say almost like purify the energy of it, right? So it's these two forces that are polar forces, meaning they complement but repel each other, like two big magnets. And you know when you put two magnets that are like polar opposites and you push them together and you push them together and you create this like huge resistance force, right? And they kind of repel each other. But if you can actually get them to come together, it's like the magnetic poles flip and then they're like this, right? Like you can actually get them to do that. This is happening inside of our bodies, okay? We are getting into a like physical transformation where we're unifying the polarities within us. So everything that is coming up and getting stirred up for us, it's going to feel very naked. It's going to feel like we're very exposed. And that's because I want to say it as a Star Trek reference. That's why I laughed. It's like shields are off, you know, Scotty, when it's like shields are down, shields are down. And that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like it's a very exposed month. So if you haven't set your intentions, if you haven't figured out where you're at, that's the best thing that you can do is get that work in. If you're in MoonBabes Society, go download the calendar, go download the monthly theme. I have questions on there that will guide you through kind of like thinking through what you want to have clarity on this month. And then in MoonBabes Society, you guys, we're gonna have our monthly coaching call on Thursday. So we're going to talk in depth about all of this. And for those of you that are not part of MoonBabe Society, you can go and check it out at moonbabetribe.com. And that's our monthly moon meditation membership where we do all sorts of amazing things. And we meditate on the full moon, on the new moon, and we have a monthly coaching call, which is now happening at the first week of every month since July because the months flipped. So I was trying to think of that structure. And it's a great place. We have our own private Facebook group where we talk about all sorts of fun things. So go and check it out. And we do meditations that are really like meditation experiences. So it's not just like we sit there and we meditate to a mantra. We do Kundalini, we do astral travel, we do intention settings, we do fire ceremonies, we do all sorts of cool stuff, and we do all sorts of quantum healing. So go and check it out, see if it's for you. Message me if you have questions. But if you feel like you are raw and exposed and you're lost and you're trying to figure out like what the hell's going on, this is a great place to start. Also, if you don't know what to do with your energy when it comes to this next chapter and how to handle your own center of gravity, that's what I want to say. Go to my website, again, moonbabetribe.com, click on free stuff. Okay, there's a free course on there that's called the Energy Hack 101, and it talks to you about protecting your energy. That is a great place to start. There's also meditation on there, and there's resources on, like, you can, from my website, you can click on my YouTube channel, you can go on there, get your meditation on. It is not as hard as you think. It is easy, it is fun, and it makes you feel good. So the time has come, my loves. Everybody get meditating, okay? I've been like doing it everywhere here in Italy. If you look at my stories, it's like I'm meditating on the benches, I'm meditating on the beach. People are like, what the hell is she doing? And I'm like, breath of fire, let's do this, because somebody's got to like start this conversation. So I'm determined to do this job here in Italy and start the conversation about meditation, because people forget. And breath is so important as like that moment. You breathe, you get to your center, you find your place, you clear out the stuff that's got to go, and you have a moment of connection with your true self. And then when you work with me, you really get to the whole depth of it and the work that I call this work. It's this. You got to connect. You got to call it in. Okay. This is where all the information is happening right now, which brings me to tell you, if you live on the horizontal axis of life, okay, it's time to shift. Say your goodbyes. Let's not knock over my water. Say your goodbyes to this axis of life, because this is where we live now, okay? This is how you have to live your life. It's not this way anymore. It's this way, okay? And when you go up and you go this way, you're gonna probably shed some friends, you're gonna shed some things, you're gonna lose some old habits, right? But you're going up, you're going vertical, you're going you're raising your frequency. And it's easier when you go this way and you go narrow, because sometimes what happens is you want to take all your people with you, right? And you want to make this big, hey, I want to bring everybody with me, which I totally understand. And I did this for years, but you have to remember that if you don't do this for you, if you're not in your own pillar of light, if you're not ascending in your own column of light, your own space, then you can't expand this way. First, you got to go up, and then you can help and heal and serve and everything else. So make sure that you're taking care of this, okay? This is your focus, and you have to find your alignment. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, this month, because every month I do the astrology calendar. Oh yeah, this is the other fun thing we do in MoonBabes Society. Every month I look at the astrology calendar and I translate all of the main and major transits that are astrology transits, planetary movements, etc. And I write them out in English, and I tell you keywords of those days and what to look for and how they're going to affect you. And so when I look at the months, which I have it actually pulled up right here on my computer, because I have my computer right here, maybe. But when I was looking at it, it's that's when I see how all of the planets work. And this month on the 23rd, we have the equinox too, which is tying it back to what we were talking about, the balance of the light and the dark, okay? Balance of female and male, divine masculine, divine feminine, of light and dark, everything is kind of coming together. So this month is going to be a month that you are going to feel naked and raw if you don't know who you are, where you are, what you're on this planet doing, because it's all going to get discombobulated. You're going to feel like your polarities are shifting, like your magnetism is flipping. Your body, you're physically going to feel it. So what's the solution? Get in alignment, okay? Get in alignment, get a support system, get a coach, get a membership, have a container that holds you through this if you don't know how to do this by yourself, or if you just want extra support, because honestly, it's so much better to do this, right, as a group. So, okay, super scuba sister, how are you? I've been working a ton in the evenings, and that's usually when I meditate. Getting back into that connection has been so key to mental and spiritual well-being, being with my higher self. Yes, thank you. Reading white on white, sorry, I get really close, but that's exactly right. When there's a lot of stuff that happens in the 3D world, in the denser world, right? It's so important that we have this higher self connection and that we have that moment for ourselves and with ourselves, because otherwise it's our soul doesn't really live in the body anymore, and then we feel empty, we just don't feel right. So very, very important. So Natalie says, well, I'm naked AF then. Right, sister, go get yourself a bikini or something. Teasing. No, but really, it's, start getting some alignment, start getting in the zone, start getting your meditation on. That's so funny. But it's you start getting your clothes on, you start getting your things on, and you're okay, and you get into alignment a little bit, and then you feel okay, right? And maybe you are comfortable being totally naked, but I'm just saying, shields are coming off, you guys. One of the things that's going to happen with this shift is I feel like we're probably going to have increased telepathy. So like third eye visuals, telepathy, like understanding. I was playing with a friend the other day that like on telepathic and just like connecting, seeing the extent to which we can get to. And I was telling him that I was sending a taste of my gelato, and the flavor came through, and things are coming through, and visuals are coming through. So if you are doing, if you are working on your superpowers, and what I call superpowers, test it out, because this is a good month where things come through and they're just, they're getting heightened. So Dylan is saying, having a ton of karmic blocks released from the past coming up this month. Healing with Virgo love. Yes, Mama Earth love. Good job. That's awesome. You guys are laughing at Natalie. Yeah, I can see that. Naked times. We share the same birthday. Oh, yay, Virgo. Virgo. Happy birthday to all my Virgos, by the way. Yes, telepathy is coming in. And it explains a bunch of stuff that has happened lately with me getting out of my comfort zone. Yes, you guys, this is it. So figure it out. If you're not, it's almost like I want to say, get your meditation bikini on, right? Like you meditate once, you got like a little tiny bikini. You get meditate a little bit, you get like covered up a little bit more. Like get comfortable with this stuff. You have to get in alignment. Okay, you have to get to where you're comfortable with your truth, and you're comfortable with your truth being exposed. Remember how I've been saying for the past couple of months, I feel like it's been like 2 or 3 months, I've been getting messages that it's like the veil is getting thinner, things are starting to be more see-through, we're not going to have the gap in manifesting, it's going to get instant manifesting, right? I think that's going to switch big time after the equinox. I feel like there's going to be a huge magnetism shift, like this unification, and we're just going to be like, we're going to be in alignment with wherever we're at. And so whether we do the work, whether we don't do the work, this is going to align, and it's just going to like manifest out, and it's like people are going to see us raw and vulnerable wherever we are at. So the more you know where you're at and you're comfortable standing in your truth, no matter what that is, that doesn't mean that if you're a private person, that doesn't mean that people will have an insight into all of your things. It just means that if you are out of integrity, or if you're not standing for your beliefs, you are going to feel raw and naked and like that feeling, like what, right? Like if you were to be wearing a bikini in the middle of like New York, that's that feeling, right? Like, why is everybody looking at me? And maybe they aren't. Maybe nobody's really paying attention, but that's the feeling that we get. So that's kind of what's going on. So yes, lots of numbers, messages lately. Lots and lots and lots, you guys. So, and work with them. Program them in. Start to work with your synchronicities, angels' messages. There's been a shift. I'll have to tell you more about this yesterday. That I downloaded a bunch of information yesterday. That I don't know if it's like a treaty that like we're coming to a big shift. And so I was told that I was complete in my work with the Syrian, with Sirius, and with the information, and working with the council, and I will be shifting predominantly with working with Andromeda. And that's like a huge frequency shift, and it's a different, Andromeda is a galaxy, doesn't have the male and the female polarity, so this is like a totally different energy. Those of you that have worked with or have traveled with me to Andromeda, it's a very, very different. And the way, I mean, it's completely, everything is like absolutely 100% telepathy. It's in a different way, in a way that working with my Andromedan peeps sometimes is overwhelming to me, because it takes every ounce of multi-dimensional sensory perception I have to intake all the information from all the extrasensory perception systems, if that makes sense. And so we're getting used to that. Let's do it. And I'm excited because there's going to be lots coming through, I'm sure. And there's got to be, new information that's coming in that's getting released when we're working with the neighboring galaxy. That doesn't mean that this is shifting for everybody, but for me, this is just a big shift because for a long time, I have been specifically working with the Council on Sirius as I work with other planets, and I work with the Arcturians and the Pleiadians and the Phalonians and everyone else. But predominantly everything was about the Council on Sirius. And you guys know this, those of you that fly with me, that astro travel with me, we've worked with the Council a lot. It was kind of like our hub spot where we would get a lot of information. So I'm excited about it's like there's new galaxies to explore and new information being released. So I'm very excited. That's a big shift. It's not just like, hey, you're now working. Initially I was working a lot with the Pleiadians, and then I started working a lot with the Sirians, and they're still in our galaxy. So this is like actually a different galaxy, whole new set of rules. So let's see what we're going to learn, and it's going to be exciting. Carrie says home sweet home, Andromeda. I love you guys. Oh, hi gosh. Totally explains why I've been going through lately. Same crazy experience, even telepathic communication with oneness, the universe. You're right on the money, Kosh. That's amazing. Yep, so you're feeling it, and that's really our collective conscious. So we're all kind of experiencing that. And that's one of the things too that we're starting to understand a little bit more is the parts that are collective conscious, collective unconscious, and the parts that are our individual experience of it, and the part of you that's the observer of your experience of what's happening. So there is a lot of things at play here. So get to know yourself on all the levels, because the time has come, my friends. The time has come. Annie, I feel like that naked feeling also goes to people being more aware who we are in the 5D, sorry, I gotta do this so I can read. Who we are as our higher selves. A huge shift. Yes, well said. And we are shifting through. And as we land, it's like you land in 5D state of being, and then you have to bridge the 3D, but you're starting to access the 6th and the 7th dimensional fields. So we're really doing a lot of work. It's like the altitude shift and the drop of frequency, the range that our bodies, our minds, and our spirit goes through every day is wider and wider. So we're like stretching ourselves. But our bodies feel it. I wasn't joking. I posted on those of you that are friends with me on my personal profile, I posted that I feel like 40 is the new 20. As I just turned 40, I feel like this light body thing is just working. The more light you pull in, my insides just feel amazing. Like I feel supercharged. And I sure as hell know that's not how the majority of the people I grew up with, of my friends, right, feel when they get to 40. It's just not that general feeling. People don't generally get to 40 saying, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. I am stoked for life, right? Usually it's like, I don't know, I'm 40. And so it's really, it really just works when you start pulling it in and you're like, I feel good in this body. Like, I feel like I'm going to keep it for a minute, right? And it's just a testament for, the light coming in and us transmuting it and really accessing higher dimensions in our 3D body, which is the miracle that we're here to perform, the magic. Judy, my heart has just been beating out of my chest. I thought maybe I was having a heart attack. Judy, you are physically adjusting. When you have palpitations, you're feeling the energy because your heart is electric. So it's electrical impulses. So when you do that, take extra time to meditate. Go back to one of your favorite meditations in MoonBabes Society. Just put it on. Even if you put it in the background and you just lay down and you just listen and tune into the energy and breathe through and just calm, right? The mind, calm the body. Like, you have to do things that lift your frequency, and then your heart won't beat. It's like pumping through to make up the difference. So physically, it just means that you're working through. So do that emotional, mental work to get higher, and then bring it in, and then you won't feel it as much. So Bobby says, I love traveling in the cosmos with you. Yay! Cosmic travelers. Lady T, I've been trying to manifest something a lot for a while now. Is this the thing when it will happen? I don't know if I understand the questions. So manifesting is becoming quicker and quicker. You just have to make sure that you're really clear. If you're not manifesting something, it means that you have some belief system inside of you that is contradicting it. So if the thing that you want is not coming to fruition, somewhere inside of you, you have some kind of belief system, like you're not deserving of it, you're not ready for it, there's no possible way that it could happen, you're not good enough for it. And so those are the things that you have to go and clear out and do like the emotional work for. So take a look at that. And if not, if it's a matter of timing, then maybe this is the time, because it's really coming in strong. You just have to hold it and call it in and staying on it. And sometimes it's also a matter of faith, because the universe in all of its glory knows when it's the right time to deliver, right? So Kosh says, thanks for bringing Aubrey into my life. She's completely transformed me. Oh, I love that you two became friends. Amazing. Kundalini friendships are the best. I love it when you guys meet in my Kundalini classes. That makes me so happy. And he says, you know me and how much I love the astral travel. Let's go to Andromeda. Yeah, I'm feeling like insane things are going to happen in November. I'm getting some downloads for some cool things that are going to happen on 11/11, and we'll get into that. So it's going to be fun. So, Dylan, making me feel better about turning 20. Oh, yeah, we're also worried for you, Dylan. You guys are so funny. Glass by Soul, my life has been magical the last few months. Yes, manifesting beautiful things, a way to be in alignment. And it really has been like that. It's like, it's whatever you hold inside is manifesting on the outside, right? So if you find yourself clearing things, get good at clearing things, because it really is amazing. Like, I have manifested amazingness in my life. I have moved through huge and insane shifts in my personal life. And I mean, even being able to be in Italy, the country where I grew up with, for an entire month this summer has been amazing. And being able to continuously teach from here, and all the places that I've been able to visit and everything has been like a huge manifestation. There's a lot of things that are able to move much quicker right now. So you just have to actually be in that clear space of allowing them to come through. And it's beautiful. So Jamie says, what about 50? 50 is the new 30. Woohoo! I love it. Or the new 25. You decide, Jamie. You decide. But it's the light. We need to have like the 3D age, and then like the light body age. And then we can start making a comparison. We need to have like one of those memes where we compare and we decide, right? Like, this is what it feels like in your light body. Yes, it's amazing. Hi, Betsy. Oh, Betsy's in Chicago. Hello, representing Chicago. Yay. Emma Guerin says, a dear friend of mine shared your work with me. I'm super thankful. Have a beautiful day. Happy belated birthday. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you found the channel and that you're hanging out with the tribe. We do great things. I hope that you join, and let me know if you have questions. I'm usually live every Monday for the MoonBabes Monday Night Live, but today I'm live on a Tuesday afternoon because in Italy, we're just going to go live. I'm just telling you guys for the next, I think I'm here for another 2.5 weeks. I'm going to go live when I can, depending on the Wi-Fi. So I'll download the videos and then I'll repost them on YouTube. So what did I want to tell you guys about? We had a big new start. I want to make sure that I recap the points. So for the energy that's coming up. So big new start with the Virgo full moon that we just had. So if you have not set your intentions, do it now. It's always better than not doing it, right? You can set your intentions anytime. Thursday, in fact, do it before Thursday, okay? Take like 5 minutes, write down what you want in your life. Thursday is the first quarter moon, where the moon and our intentions start to take power. And it's in Sagittarius, so it's going to be like, the archer. That was the sound of the archer, okay? And the thing, you can tell it's late night here. You guys, it's 1 a.m. in Italy, and I'm starting to get delirious. So just work through this with me. So set your intentions, decide what you want, decide what your truth is, stay in your truth. This is really like a big theme for September, to not feel raw and naked and like you don't have a shield. Like, it's very important that you get in your truth and in your belief systems and in alignment, okay? We have a full moon on, drumroll please, Friday the 13th. Big time divine feminine. Friday is ruled by Venus, and the 13th is the number of the divine sacred feminine. So it's going to be a huge, powerful, like divine feminine, like uprising, kind of everything coming up. Everything that is not in alignment with your divine feminine, it's coming up, okay? Just know this full moon is going to be like pulling it up. So allow it to be released. Allow it to be let go. Decide what you want now, before Thursday, before the first quarter moon, and then allow the rest to go, okay? Again, in MoonBabes Society, we're going to be doing this work together. And then, this is my big announcement that I have. Right now, I am teaching a course live that's called Goddess on Mission, and I was going to close the registration today, but I was looking at things, and I've been here at the beach with like spotty Wi-Fi. I decided, as I'm talking to my to my team and all my spiritual board of peeps, I am going to keep registration open until Friday the 13th in honor of Friday the 13th, the divine feminine and the goddess power and the full moon. So it's going to be, you have like 10 more days, and I'll tell you more about it in the next coming days. I haven't been able to send an email out either, so that will go out and I'll tell you a little bit more about it, because it's a course that helps you as all of these things are happening. I mean, the courses that I teach are always very much in alignment with the energy of what's happening in the universe, because I work this way. And so this course was birthed while I really wanted to go on vacation in France on a yacht. And God was like, nope, you're not going there. I'm sorry. This is what is needed right now. It is, you have to birth this course right now. It's Goddess on Mission. True story. And those of you that were there can attest to this. And I was like, faith, right? Guidance, like it has to happen. And so it did. And it was a perfect timing. And now as we go through the days and the modules, and I match it to the astrology, because I don't do that work before. I'm not like, even though I'm Virgo, I'm not like a super planner. I have learned that if you are in alignment, things work out automatically. But when I go and look at the astrology and the movements and how the modules are formatted and how everything came together, I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder you wanted me to do this now, right? Because every movement of the planet is supporting the course and what we're doing in the course. So Goddess on Mission is for those of you that know you have to start a spiritual business, or you want to take your spiritual business to the next level. You're not sure how to do it, but you know that you're ready to do something meaningful in this lifetime, in this world, because you have to, because your soul is like dying to not do things that are meaningful. And so you want to figure out how to make money, how to support yourself fully by sharing your gifts and your talents with the world, with the people that you came to serve. And this is the course. It's called Goddess on Mission. It's 10 modules. We go through the spiritual work, the emotional work, we go through the transformational work, we go through breakthroughs, and we go through the technical side of things. We build the whole marketing funnel and everything like a spiritual business plan. So it's this like 5D business brought into the reality that is tangible, and how to really get that flow of money in and having a business that like you thrive in by sharing the gifts of your soul, like what you came on this planet to do. And it makes me so happy that I get to teach you guys these things. It's just my soul wants to like explode. And so like seeing tonight when I was teaching the module, we talked about the spiritual business plan tonight, and we went over, how to create this experience. And afterwards, I was just so thankful for the fact that like I am seeing what the beautiful goddesses in the course are creating. And I just have tears that these are the gifts that we are bringing collectively on the planet. It's like this light inside of us is like lighting up and multiplying, and it's just beautiful and amazing. So I am super thankful that I have a chance to teach you how I did what I did, and I get to share it with you. Claritha says it was so good. Yay! It was so great to have you on, Claritha, with the time difference. I know a lot of you that are in Goddess on Mission are catching the replay. But it really is a different, I was explaining it to my parents, my Italian parents at dinner, because after I taught the course, I went and had dinner at my parents' house here in the countryside. And they, and my parents only speak Italian. So I speak in Italian, and sometimes I'm missing the spiritual words in Italian. And so I was trying to explain it to them and about what I just taught about in a way that they would understand it. And I said, if I had to sum it down to something, is I've learned that when we create spiritually and in alignment a plan, when we can actually feel it, see it, create it spiritually from the end, and then bring it to the beginning, and then ground it in and manifest it, it always works. When we do like, hey, we have to build the building in the 3D world and like build it from the ground up and they will come, they don't come. They don't come. That's not how it works, because we're shifting frequencies. And so if you don't learn how to build from your soul and how to pull in that information from your soul and create from the spiritual way of creation in order to bring it in the physical, then it's like, I'm going to go with maybe 40 to 50% of the businesses maybe will survive, but the majority, like 50 to 60% of the businesses created that way, are bound to just not work, because you can't go physical to spiritual anymore. Like, I hope that makes sense. That maybe made more sense in Italian. One of these days, I'm going to do one of these lives with one of my family members that speaks Italian, and we're going to try and do this in both languages. Maybe it's a bad idea. I don't know, but we won't know until we try. And we're going to try and explain this in all of the ways. Casey Ann says, catching the replay soon. Life-changing course, Goddess on Mission. Yay, Casey Ann. I'm so glad. I'm so excited to see. And Aubrey, I see that you joined too. I'm so excited to see what you goddesses, beautiful goddesses of light, come up with and what you create in this course, because it just melts my heart to know that we're doing this for each other and we are all really serving each other and allowing each other to shine through it. So let me catch up with some of your guys's. Did you have some questions? Let's see. Sometimes Lady T says our high vibration can drop when life turns bad. How do you stay in a higher vibration when feeling flat? So that is one of those things that, funny, because I was just talking about the Goddess on Mission course, and we talked about your why. We talked about figuring out why you're doing what you do, and how in a lot of times that becomes your lifeline, right? So when you have that figured out, and you're working on your soul business. I guess I don't know your background, but when you're working on your soul business, if you can tap into that, you can frequency shift, because flatlining means that lack of you're not tapping into your divine purpose, into your passion, into your motivation, right? Because then the 3D life is kind of taking over. But what you want to do is you want the 5D. See how this is like 3D and then 5D coming in. You want this out. You want to be self-sustained, right? Self-sparked kind of passion from inside. And so if you don't know that, or if you need to reignite that, this is always a function of meditation. It's you connecting with your heart, connecting with your higher self, and that's your recharge. It's kind of like you have to go, think of yourself as a light bulb, as a light fixture with a light bulb, and you have to plug yourself into source power. So when you feel like that and you feel depleted, then you have to plug into source power. Source power is God, your higher self, the angels, the universe. Like, it's this 5D vertical axis connection, okay? I know I do this a lot. Hopefully my mom makes fun of me because this is what she sees me do in Italian here. It's pretty funny, you guys. And my parents have an understanding of the things I teach, but it's pretty funny. Like, it's comical. We should definitely do a live with them one time. And so my mom was explaining to someone what I was doing. So an Italian explaining to another Italian. Italians speak with gestures a lot. And she was like, she teaches people how to meditate. And she's going like this with her hand. And I was just dying because she doesn't know what this means. But she knows that I do this all the time. So it's pretty funny. But that's what that is. It's the 5D frequency axis connection coming in through your higher self. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Yes, I will be. I know I missed a week on IG Live, and literally between the 8-hour difference. I'm on an 8-hour difference right now, and just seeing family that I haven't seen in 2 years. It was like, what's going on? So, and the Wi-Fi. Let's not forget the Wi-Fi. Sometimes it doesn't support the live connection, but I am going to be here for a week now in the countryside. This is my sacred time. This is my creation time that I'm really excited to enter into this week. And so you'll see more of me because here I actually have stable Wi-Fi. Imagine that in the countryside, like all the way up in like this is, and you guys will see more of this. This is like a cobblestone kind of like village of 200 people where there's one fountain, one like old school church, there's a fort. It's amazing. So you guys will see it if you look through my stories. Okay. I am Garen. Will this live be saved? My phone is going to die. Yes. Check my YouTube. I'll be present in my tribe community. Tons of love. I'll be in Peru for the full moon. Oh my gosh, amazing. That will be amazing for the full moon. That's amazing vibes. Claritha, love the Friday the 13th. Yeah, it's going to be amazing energy. Amazing energies. Annie, instead of dog years or cat years, light body years. Yes, light body years. Let's make that meme, you guys. We totally should. All right, you guys, I'm catching up with all of your questions. Oh, are all your family spiritual? No, actually, my mom and dad were Catholic, Italian Catholic, and then they became LDS. So their religion, my mom has very much throughout the years, they thought my gifts were really weird. And then in the past, I want to say, since I really started being more open with my family about what I was seeing in my experiences, it was 2007. So it's been about 12 years now, where we were just laughing about it tonight. So we probably should do a live about that, where I would tell my mom that I would ask for travel out of my body, because I really was like, I had no basis for what was happening. So I was like, there comes a point where you find a person and you're like, Mom, I know that, you know things, because she was studious. She's very much studious. When you switch religions, generally it means that you've like researched through stuff, right? And that you've read sacred texts and whatnot. And my parents are very much like cultured in terms of like different religions. They're on the interfaith committee, so they definitely know things. Their beliefs are what they are, but they have an understanding of a wide range of things. And so I would talk to my mom about experiences of like being outside of my body and coming in and what it felt like, or the things that I would see. And we were laughing tonight because I was like, Mom, do you remember when you would explain to me like, well, this makes sense because honey, in the Bible, it says that, this and this and this. And so she would try and reference what was happening and what I was experiencing to things that she had read, in different texts, and whatnot. And it was really good for me at the beginning to be able to express it, and to know that she would actually just listen without any kind of, basis for what I was saying. But bless her heart, I was like, through all the things, parents and children always go through things because it's just a phase of life. It's like what we signed up here for, like Earth life. But it was really great to be able to have her listen to me through those things. So they don't understand. They don't have like a concept for these things, but sometimes, like I keep talking to them about this, and the things that I do and the things that I teach, because every so often, like I feel like they have a parallel for it. And this is really what happens. The more I express, in a very real and raw way, like the better I get at expressing my experiences and the things that I am able to see and to feel, and to witness in different realms and in different, travels, then I see that there are people that have reference points to them. Like we're starting to connect in different reference points, right? And so, like today, I was explaining to my parents about Metatron's cube and how sacred geometry works to hold structures of light that, are held together in place by sound and frequency and so on and so forth. And so my dad's a civil engineer, so he understands geometry. And so we started, you find a basis for like having that conversation with people, and then the reels start to unlock. So it's pretty cool. I feel like I'm in a better place now than I've ever been. The more you talk to them, and at first they wouldn't understand. That's the hard part. And now there's been enough experiences, there's been enough communication through me to the other side. Like, for example, with family, it has passed on and everything, where they now believe me because they have grounds and basis and proof and so on and so forth, right? To where they're like, oh yeah. So I'll have to tell you guys more about this. So hi, Angela. Hi, you guys. Coach Ray Loving, ready to serve. I'm in Atlanta. Any other goddesses here? Who is on here? So many goddesses are on here. Are you kidding? All of you guys. Yes, that's a really good way to explain that. Thank you, Lady T. I'm glad that made sense. Diminuto 7. Why do I awake at 3:33 for as long as I remember? Does it mean anything? Yes. 3:33 is the number of the ascended masters, and it means that you are you're being awakened, you're being it's like an activation when that happens over and over and over, and it's time for you to start connecting with the ascended masters of light. So do some research, look up Joanne's Sacred Scribes and then put in 333. Or even if you look up angel numbers 333 on Google, you'll start to get like a lot of information, and it's time you start paying attention to that, because that's pretty significant. Always, when you see repetitive messages that are positive, that's your angels. Always. Do you miss us already? I miss you. Yes, Aubrey, of course I miss you. I miss you guys a lot. That's what I started saying. It's so weird not communicating with you guys more. But I have to work with the Wi-Fi here, but I'll be in Wi-Fi range this year. Aw, Judy, I love you lots too. I love all of you guys. How did I end up living in America? When I was 15, I knew I had to come to the US, and that's a crazy story. And so I told my parents, and my parents said, "You're crazy, you're 15 years old, why don't you wait until college?" And I said, "Nope, God said, right? And thank God my parents are religious, right? And so I was actually able to say, listen, go pray, go ask God, he will tell you. And they thought I was losing my shit. And they prayed and they came back and they said, you're right, you gotta go. And so we did. And so they gave, like, literally, it was like true story. One day you can make a movie about this stuff. They literally, like, helped me get my paperwork together and get a visa, gave me some money in cash, and they said, good luck, child. and that really truly happened. And there were lots of tears shed, but I knew I had to do it. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I knew I had to do it. So I'll have to tell you guys the full story at some point. But when you know you have to do something because you have that internal knowing that you have to do it, then it's easier to do it, even though it's really, really hard. Because, my parents didn't know I cried every day. They didn't know how hard it was. They didn't know how hard learning English was, or fitting in another country, or high school was here, learning like a whole other cultural thing. To this day, they tell me, if you ever told us how hard it was, we would have told you to come home. But that was the point. I couldn't tell them that because it was part of my journey. And I was so clear that I had to stay and I had to learn English. And I now know beyond doubt, this is exactly why I had to. I had to learn English. I had to learn business. I got my degree in international business. I went through the whole school thing. I learned so much and I was exposed to so much more knowledge in the US than I would have been able to access in Italy, because in Italy, a lot of things are censored by the Catholic Church. To this day, they censor books, they censor movies. It's not like a free country like the US is, even though there's still things that are censored, and we all know this whole thing and how it works, right? But there's a difference. And I would not have had access to like getting certified in Reiki and learning, theta healing, getting certified in being a coach, and Gestalt dream work and therapy. Like, all of these healing arts were so readily available to me, while here in Italy, that's not a thing. Or like Kundalini, or like meditation, and all of these things that I've just been able to study throughout the years. And every single thing, every single piece of my life, like the fact that I had, as a soul, chose to incarnate in Italy makes so much sense, because so much of what I learned here in school now are things that makes sense to me, and what happened in the history of like the human race, right? Because it's in my blood. It's like it had to come through my blood. And so I have an understanding of this bloodline that came through, the Romans and all of the ancient history over here. But then I physically moved to the States. Like, my life was pretty much like, when I look up, I'm like, we did good. Like, we planned this in a way that really added up to all the pieces of the information that I needed to have to this point to teach what I teach now, and to know the things that I know now. I had like such a wide basis of information when I was little that was taught to me here in this country. So it's just interesting how that all worked out. So that's a true story. True Hollywood story, you guys. One day I'll tell you more details. We'll have to do this. I know that some of you guys have asked me this before. I feel like I need to do a section of videos of chapters of my life and tell you guys how that all went down. Sending you infinite light and love. Bobby says, you were right on point, Sonia. You had to do what you had to do. You're an amazing gift to me and to us all. Oh, thank you, Bobby. That's so sweet. Diminuto7 says, I just love you. Oh, I've had experiences like you. But since I was a little girl, they did me to not talk about it, or they will hunt me like a witch and burn me. So that's the thing, is when you're little, you don't know how to explain these things, and then you don't want to talk about them, and then you realize these are like the biggest gifts. You just have to learn how to work with the energy and how to do that. So Aubrey says, I could hear you talk forever. Love your story and connection. Oh, I love you, sister. So glad. I'm glad that the sometimes I feel like I have such a long story. I love that you guys are saying that you love hearing the story. Yes, would love more details one day. Yes, Sierra, I will tell you guys. I feel like I need to just do videos on my story. I wonder how many others have had similar stories. I feel like I maybe need to go through and like decades of like childhood to explain, you know, from the things I was seeing when I was a child and like the crazy years and like, you know, all the things that I went through. But yeah, it's definitely a different story, but it's things, the things that I know and the things that I've learned are things that I had to fight for. And even with and this is just the how my spirit is. You know, I tell you guys, this is one that I tell you guys often, the story of when I found out for the first time that there were people that could see auras and colors around people in the energy. I was like, what? This is not like a made up childhood fantasy where I thought I could see shit in the air, right? And I heard for the first time there was a man that was running like sweat lodges at at Gary Acevedo's spiritual retreat called The Awakening, and he was this like sweet older man that was there like volunteering and helping, and he was starting to tell me about these things and about auras and like how he could see all of these things. And I was like, you can see that? Like that's not just like a kid's thing. And I remember just knowing, and then all of a sudden I started talking to more people, and it became like part of my awareness. I was like, holy shit, this is like adults are okay to see these things too, right? And sometimes we just need to know that somebody else can do it, or that it is possible, and then we're like, I want that too, right? Like if they can do it, I can do it. That's how I am in these things. I'm like, it's possible. And so and sometimes I don't need to have that, and I can just, you know, make things happen. But for some things, when they're not in your field of awareness, then you don't know, and we don't know what we don't know, right? Until we meditate. And when I learned to meditate, then all the things come in. But when I learned that people could see auras and colors, I didn't know, you know, because he said, well, it's a gift, you know, you look and then you see. And, you know, a lot of people are born with gifts and that kind of thing. Well, I was dead bent on figuring out how the hell to see colors. And so I figured out I couldn't really sit there and stare at people, because I was told, people would tell me, just stare at people on a white wall and then you'll see auras. Well, it didn't work out for me. So I really had to learn how to get in this like Zen place. And then I figured I only had myself to practice on. And so I would sit in front of a mirror with a white wall behind me, much like right now, right? And just stare until I could see my aura. It took me 6 hours in one sitting, you guys. And then I could see it. And I did it like a couple of times. I only tried like a half hour, an hour, a couple of hours. But one time I did it like for 6. I was like, I am not getting up until I do this. I'm like, let's get on with this. And so I've had to work for things. I've had to work for my gifts to come online. I want to say for some people, it's not that way. For some people, it's like something that all of a sudden you start to hear, all of a sudden you start to see. But that's the experience that my soul came here to experience. And so that's how that went down for me. So I know that it's possible both ways. Some things have come to me. They just all of a sudden come and I know things, but that happens now. Before, a lot of things I actually sought out and I sought an understanding of. And so I know that it's something you can elevate yourself to acquire or to like download or to, you know, get into that. Oh my gosh, it's kicking me off. You guys, I have 1 minute remaining. I love you all. Go to my website. That means that we've been on for an hour. I love you. I better get off or it will not let me download it. Go to moonbabetribe.com if you want to check out Goddess on Mission or any of the other cool things I talked about. I love you all so much. Mwah!